All right, everybody, and welcome to the next module of the documentary. Let's take a look at what you can expect for the next couple weeks. I'm literally publishing it as we speak, and I will email this video to you. But if you need to refer back to it at any time, I'll post it right up here by the overview. So you can see we have our lectures up in here. There's times that I reference back to. Uh, I'm going to actually move this up here. In lecture 3, I'm going to refer to you to pause at a certain point and come and look at this lecture. So it just was getting clunky trying to do two YouTube videos in one. So I've just put them both there. Um, and you should be good to go. I have two movies over the next 2 weeks. One is Samsara, and one is Man with a Movie Camera, and they're both a little bit challenging, as you'll see as you get into the lecture. They're kind of complete opposite of what we had been looking at before. So whereas we had story and narrative kind of going along with a documentary, now we have the opposite. And I think it's a good way to juxtapose them and to see how the different modes and the different forms of documentary can be so different but be under the same genre of documentary. So we have the Samsara video link. Let me know if there's any issues with it. This is a free link that I found. Same with Man with the Movie Camera. I found a YouTube link with it. Not the original music. In fact, I don't think there was original music with it, but we're so used to music with our film, but the way it was shot and edited, the film was the music in a sense. And but I found one with what I felt was appropriate music to go along with it. I would suggest starting with the video essay before you do the actual movie. Take a look at that, and it will, I think, help you in the process of watching it. So um, you could go in either order of the movies that you want. If you want to start with Man with a Movie Camera, certainly it's 1922, so it's much newer. Samsara is 2011, I believe. Um, and then here we have, I reference in my lecture this manifesto that the director of Man with a Movie Camera co-wrote, and it's not a required read, but it's a pretty interesting one, especially if you enjoyed the film or just enjoyed that sort of anti-classical style of documentary filmmaking. It's an interesting article to read, so it's there for your own edification if you want it. We have an assignment that corresponds to A Man with a Movie Camera. It's I kind of gave you a lot to go off of. You don't have to answer all of these questions that are here. I kind of wanted to just give you some ideas because it is a little bit challenging of a movie that will just get you in the right direction. So you can pick any of these questions or any combination of them to answer in to form the essay in whichever way you want. And I'm looking for 300 to 500 words. But basically, there's a lot of different directions you can take this. And so look this over. Let me know if it doesn't make sense or if you need help narrowing it down. But certainly once you watch the lectures and the movie, this will make sense. So let's see. The second assignment should be more fun in terms of getting creative. You have three options for this one, and I really don't want to overcomplicate it, but for those of you who are filmmakers or have an interest in it, I thought it would be kind of cool for you to make your own poetic documentary. And I'm not looking for like a perfect movie with this. I'm just looking for you to stretch as a creative person if you are, and to add to your portfolio if you want. Maybe you've already shot some films and it would be good for you to have one like this. Minute 1 to 2 minute minimum, maximum. just somewhere in there. If it's a little under, a little over, that's fine. I'll show you two examples here before I'm done. But I'm going to give you a little additional time if you decide to do option one. I'll give you an extra week to turn this in. So what I'd like you to do is this: under the number 6 assignment, poetic documentary, just write, I'm choosing to do option one. And then when you go to turn in your film, you see that's due on the 7th. Turn your film in here. But if you could just write me a note in here that saying that you want to do option one, that way I'm kind of aware of what you're doing. I can go ahead and put a grade in, and I can be on the lookout for your film a week later. You also have two writing options. You can do a review basically of the poetic documentary, the mode that we'll be studying this time, and you can directly correspond your essay to Samsara as an option, or you can go find your own poetic documentary. And I gave you a link to different film suggestions. Maybe Samsara just wasn't your cup of tea. It's epically beautiful. I think you'll enjoy it. But here's a link to some suggestions that you can find on your own. And then here's the databases with the school that you can find. So you have three different options for this. These two options will be due at the posted time. So that would be the 30th if you're going to write an essay. But again, if you're going to do the film component, and you could even do it on your phone, like it really doesn't matter. It's more just getting the practice and seeing how something like this could be done, and it could be more engaging than writing an essay. So you will have that as well, and then your discussion question 3. Have you ever noticed the usage of either poetic documentary or reflexive documentary in a narrative film? If so, what film and how was it used? So are there elements of these styles of documentary filmmaking that have entered into narrative film? If you've never noticed it in any film, is there a way that you can see these elements being brought into film? So 5 sentences, you don't have to respond to anyone's this time. But another thing is I have this due the 23rd, just so we get the discussion going and that you're being active with the class. So this is the next 2 weeks. So 2 movies, 2 assignments, and discussion and some lectures. Let me know if you have any questions about anything, and we can jump on a Teams call, or we can just correspond back and forth in an email to make sure you understand and are enjoying the process. So these should be, again, a little bit more challenging of films, but also kind of fun, kind of deviating from what we studied in the last module. So that's what I have for you. Again, hit me up if you have any questions.